Today I'm going to be sharing with you how to sharpen your images in the absolute best way possible. Coming up. What's going on, guys? My name is Brendan from Outbound Media, and you can find me on Instagram at burnwills. Before I get started, I just wanted to let anyone who's new here know that I make new Photoshop tutorials every single Wednesday, so if that's something you'd be into, make sure to hit that subscribe button. So today I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to sharpen your images using a high pass filter in Photoshop. Now, a lot of you guys might go about sharpening using the detail panel in Lightroom and just play around with the sliders there, but the way that I like to use is actually the high pass filter in Photoshop. I believe it's a lot easier to use and it gives a way better result. So of course I want something that I can go back on, so I'm going to duplicate my original layer here. And I'm just going to rename this to Sharpen, so that I know that this is the layer that I'm going to be sharpening and for the future. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go up here to filter, and then I'm just going to go down and convert for smart filters. Since the high pass is a filter, we want to create a smart filter onto our sharpen layer, so then we can go back and adjust the amount of sharpness we added if need be. From there, I'm going to add my high pass filter, so I'll just go up here to filter, down to other, and then high pass, just like this. Then this will load up and everything will turn gray. So as you see, your pixel radius is, you're pretty much just picking how much sharpening you're adding. So of course you don't want to go super overkill with this, as it will look really terrible, but what I like to do is I'll just add something around 1 or 1.5 pixels, and I find that that does the trick just right. So if you just look in this box, it's really faint, but you can see the lines of her toque, so that's just showing us a little bit of detail that is going to be applied once we apply our high pass filter here. So I'm just going to click OK. So now our image is completely gray, but we want to get rid of it but still keep the sharpness that I just added. So what we're going to do is we're going to change our layer blending mode down here to linear light, just like that. So it gets rid of all of the gray, but as you see, it kept the sharpness. So if I just turn this on and off, you can see the very subtle difference that it made. Now I can zoom in a little more to show you guys. You can see the difference just on her shoulders, in her hair, on her toque, just by turning that on and off. It's almost like the original image was out of focus. Since we added our smart filter ahead of time, if I want to increase or decrease this, I can always go back by double clicking on my high pass filter and just changing the amount right here. So now that we have our layer blending mode to linear light, we actually sort of have more of a live preview of the effects taking place when we adjust our radius slider. So I might just bring it down just a little. I'm going to go to 0.9 and I'm going to click OK. So that is looking pretty good to me. So I'm just going to zoom in and double check that I like what I see, and everything is looking good. So I'm just going to turn it on and off again just to see what's going on here, and that looks cool. So in this case, I don't really want to affect all this sort of blurred out area. I did shoot this at a more open aperture just so that she would be more in focus versus the rest. So of course I don't really want to sharpen the rest of the mountains and things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a layer mask to my sharpen layer here just by clicking my layer mask icon. I'm going to invert it by pressing Command I. And now I'm just going to grab my brush tool and I'm just going to paint white around the areas that I want to sharpen, or where I want my high pass filter to be showing. So just zooming in here, I'm just going to make sure I have a hard brush so I don't spill over anywhere. I'm just going to sharpen around her face, her hair, her shoulders here, maybe in her toque as well. And that's sort of doing the trick for me right there. So as you see, I'm just applying this high pass layer in only a few specific areas that I'm wanting to sort of pop on her body. So guys, that is pretty much it. That is what I believe is the absolute best way to sharpen any of your images. So it's called the high pass filter in Photoshop. It's a super quick and easy way of making your subject pop, as well as it draws your viewers' attention into a more specific area. Again, if you want to see more of my work, make sure to find me on Instagram at burnwills, or visit my website at outboundmedia.net. If this tutorial helped you and you liked what you saw, definitely consider hitting that like button and maybe even consider subscribing. I make new Photoshop tutorials every single Wednesday. Again, my name is Brendan from Outbound Media, and I hope to see you back here next Wednesday for another new Photoshop tutorial. See you then.